This is another Disney podcast production.
Hey everyone, welcome to.
Hey everyone, welcome to.
We haven't done this before, apparently.
This is super confusing. Usually we discuss this before we actually record.
But you're also usually 790 miles away.
I am also usually 790 miles away, and the good news, the temperature's the same.
Yes.
So they're both the temperature of the sun, so I felt right at home here.
Well, do not adjust your favorite YouTube channel. Is it? We have like 150 subscribers. Yeah. I don't think it's their favorite.
I mean, some of them are going to watch.
Yes, 18 of you will tune in gloriously. Brandon is in the studio.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So you lived here. When was the last time you lived here? 2010?
2012.
2012. So close.
We moved in 2012.
And you still talk to me.
I do.
That's
shockingly.
This is crazy.
Shockingly.
So you came here. Why are you here?
We went to see the Dave Matthews Band last night. If anybody listened to our last show, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And you were nice enough to grace us with your presence
at
the show.
It was a lot of fun.
We had a good time.
The wind, there was no, let's just forget that. There was no air.
No, it was very hot.
About 12, 15 songs into the set, your brother looked up the weather app and it said real feel 90.
90. And this was 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, it was horrific. But we kept the beverages flowing, stayed hydrated, had a good time.
We had a great time. So we just thought we got together. We talked a little bit about before we this weekend. We said, hey, I'm going to be in town. Let's make it super epic and let's actually record an episode while we're sitting next to each other.
I thought the first time this would happen is when I was in Florida for like a trip, but no.
You had to bring a lot less stuff.
That's right. Yeah, he's in the 757. So let's do it. So this will come out. We typically release our shows on Friday, but since Brandon was going to be here, I was like, let's just wait. We'll record one Sunday night and drop it Monday. So a few days late, but who cares?
That's all right.
Yeah. It's good times. All right. There's a couple of things we can talk about. What I really want to cover is, man, if you can finagle a way to go to Disney World in the next couple of weeks, the crowds are stupid low.
They are really low, and we've talked about this a lot. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're about a month from the 50th anniversary, and I think people who are diehard Disney fans and people who want to experience that new stuff are not going to waste a trip in September. So, I mean, I've been to the parks before I came up on Thursday. I've been to the parks more in the last week than I have been in 3 months. But that's, we open up the app and everything at Magic Kingdom was less than a 35-minute wait on a Sunday, which is the weekend.
Yes.
So we jumped in the car and drove over to the Magic Kingdom, and we went to the Grand Floridian because we were meeting friends at the Enchanted Rose, but then we went to the Magic Kingdom and
you guys hoofed it back.
We did.
You did the walk for the first time.
We did. So we went to the park on Saturday and Wednesday.
Okay.
So Saturday we parked at TTC. After the fireworks, the wait for the monorail and for the ferry boat were ridiculous. So my wife Krista and I said, hey, let's try out the footpath and walk from the park all the way to TTC. Not a horrible walk. It's not bad at all. It took about 45 minutes.
And so you go via
you go
Grand Floridian, right? You go that way.
Resort boat launches. And then instead of going to the boat for the Grand Floridian, you stay to the right, and it takes you to the walking path, which then takes you over the moving bridge that they have where they take the water pageant boats.
Yes.
And then you walk around, so you get to the Grand Floridian, which is nice. You get to walk through the grounds of there. And then you walk by the wedding pavilion, then you get to the Polynesian.
So you just keep turning left.
And then you just come out of TTC. Yeah. So it was probably a faster walk than Krista wanted, but it took about 45 minutes, which is still less than we probably would have stood in line at monorail or the boat.
And for those of you who don't know, that's a relatively newly completed path, right? Within the last year or two?
Yeah, I think it was almost done right before the park shut down for COVID.
Yeah.
But then the parks opened back up in July, and I think this may have opened last August or September, maybe. So it's coming up on about a year old. But the day that we parked at the Grand Floridian, it was super nice.
Yeah.
It was a 15-minute
really
walk around
Yeah.
there, and we just happened to time it when they were bringing the water pageant boat back in.
Right.
So we got to stand there and watch them park the water pageant
How
boats,
fun
which
is
was
that?
kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so pretty new. And like it's mostly used by people that are on vacation and like working out. They'll either go for like a morning walk or a run. That's primarily what it's used for, but it is now a nice like alternative, especially at the end. If you're not wiped, like you guys, you only go for a few hours, right? You're not wiped. It's kind of worth it to not have to stand there and be around those, 200,000 people that are all trying to catch a mode of transportation back.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And that's why we wanted to do it, because, if you looked at the lines, it's shoulder to shoulder, crammed in there like sardines. And in the time that we're in now, obviously, we didn't want to be standing in line with people breathing on us and stuff for an hour. So we just said, let's suck it up and walk it. And it was great. It wasn't bad.
Not that bad. Now, we talk about this to circle back on what we were talking about. The wait times right now are just insane. So like, I think I mentioned it either last episode or a couple episodes ago that it has been so long since I've ridden. You looked at Magic Kingdom and like even the longest wait was what? Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train,
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45
You
minutes.
almost have to be there like at rope drop to get anything shorter than that.
Correct.
And then, but I said, because you guys heard me talk about this, I was like, the last 4 or 5 trips, I have not been able to ride I have not chosen to wait in line for Test Track. Yep. And I was like, I bet you that's still 65 minutes. That was my prediction. It was?
It was 20 minutes.
On a Sunday night.
Funny story. We met our friends at Test Track or at Epcot on Sunday.
I know where you're going.
Go to the Food and Wine Festival. And we parked, that's when we parked at Yacht Club, because they were staying at Yacht Club. So we walked over and they had just texted us and said, hey, we're getting on Test Track. And you and I have had this conversation. Like, I really want to get on Test Track.
Yeah.
So I was kind of bummed that they didn't wait for me to get on Test Track. So we get over there. The dad did not ride. So I said, hey, I'm going to check out the single rider line. Like, it was open. I'm going to check it out, see kind of what it looks like. I didn't stop walking from the time I got in the single rider line until the time I sat down in the car. So I rode it once.
I need this.
Then I got off and came back out, and they're still in line, where you design the car. That's where they got into. And I was like, well, I'm going to go on the single rider line again. So I go in again, don't stop walking until I get into the car.
Cow. Yeah.
So I rode Test Track, which we never get to ride, twice in about 8 minutes on Sunday.
So to recap or to circle back to today, right? When he was checking out those times, we were finishing the golf tournament today, and you grab your phone and you say, what time was it? 7-ish?
Like 7:24.
Yeah, okay.
7:24.
7:24, he was like, you can still get a virtual queue for Rise of Resistance.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I think it's been almost for the last 2 weeks. Obviously, they still have the 7 a.m., drop of the virtual queue that everybody tries to grab. But it seems like that 1 o'clock never, ever fills up in the last 2 weeks. And I don't know if it's just because people aren't coming. There's nobody in the parks right now. People are riding it multiple times a day.
Oh, my. Who would have ever thought?
Because it doesn't stop you from getting another pass if you've already gotten one for the day.
It's just open.
Never were able to do that before. So people are riding it multiple times. And then I think one day last week, you could just walk up and actually stand in line.
Yeah, I remember that. That was insane.
Yeah.
So all of us that are going for the 50th are not going to experience any of that. Yeah. So I'm super pumped about that.
Have fun coming down in a month.
Oh well.
But yeah,
it's going to be good. So some other things are happening. Like, have they started pass holder previews for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, or just cast member?
Just cast members so far. I think the pass member previews start. I think they're in September.
Yeah.
They begin in September.
You're right.
So
we have one, but it's the day before I get there.
The day before you're supposed to get there. And I did want you to send me your Magic Band so I could try to go in there.
Oh.
But now they are using fingerprint again. So I don't know if that'll work.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
That is right.
I don't know if,
But I have 757 of them over there.
We
you
may
should
try
just
it.
take one.
We may try it.
Take it home with you.
We'll make Krista cut her hair and she could be Matthew.
Done. Oh, Matthew's there right now. Well, he came home today.
Yes.
Yeah, Matthew's been at Disney all week. So you guys got to see him.
We did on
right?
Wednesday. We watched, we rode Big Thunder Mountain with him.
Nice.
Guess how long we waited?
I don't want to know.
6 minutes.
Oh, my God.
We rode Big Thunder Mountain with him and watched the fireworks.
Moral of the story is, whenever Disney has a grand celebration, that month before would be a good time to check it out. Seeing how this is going to be a 18-month long celebration, I should have just waited. We should have just gone in like November.
I agree.
Of next year.
Yes, but we all do. You have you can't wait. You have to be one of the first.
That's right.
So I'm excited you're coming.
We are now staying at the same resort for our vacation.
Can't wait.
That is a newer development. I'm super excited about, because it'll be like nights at the pool. Sounds really romantic, buddy.
Nights at the pool with the palms.
Oh man. So, but I mean, I don't know that it's all the 50th, and I hate that we have to keep talking about this, but how do I say this nicely? I'm just not even going to try. Florida is like the cesspool for COVID related
shenanigans.
Yes. And I'm sure that has probably altered some people's plans of going to Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess.
I would imagine that probably has something to do with it. And it's just hot.
Yeah.
It's just,
it is pretty
it's
hot.
just unbearable. And if people have the choice of when they're going to come to Disney,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to try to do it when it's cooler.
Yeah.
Like people who are coming from, say you're coming from the Pacific Northwest,
Right.
you're not going to go to Florida in July and August. You would die.
It's a whole different
So it's just a whole
machine.
different climate there. And
Yep.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think COVID has a lot to do with it. And I think the 50th has a lot to do with
Yeah.
it. So it's kind of the perfect storm for those of us that live there.
I would concur.
I would imagine that I'm going to go to the parks a lot during this next month.
Yeah.
Just
you
to
could get a lot of fun
experience
stuff in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll almost feel like, or it could potentially feel like early COVID times,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It did. I mean, when we showed up to Magic Kingdom, we went after work on Wednesday. And when we got there, there may have been 4 people in the, like where you enter where the flagpole is, where we tape the flag ceremony.
Yes.
I mean, there may have been 10 people there when we walked in. And then, when the flag ceremony happened, of course, some more people came around.
People flock.
Yeah, there's nobody there. It feels great.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Also, I saw something this week. Well, today is officially the 8th day of the unexpected, unannounced closure of Living with the Land.
Yes. Yes.
Those of you who pay any attention to Disney or are on social media shenanigans may have seen you have a hypothesis as to what could potentially be going on.
I do have a hypothesis. Any story that you look at, it says that it is closed for unexpected maintenance.
Yes.
Now, if we remember back, let's jump on the Wayback Machine.
Let's go.
And I'll take you back to about end of June, beginning of July this year, when morons decided that it would be fun to jump off Living with the Land and steal vegetables.
Yeah.
I
So
think
many
they're-
questions.
I think they're putting something on there that prevents people from getting out of the boat.
Yeah. You can't blame them. And now's the time, right? Kind of low crowds, pushing to the 50th.
I mean, because what else would you have to fix? They're plants. Like it's not like you have to mechanically fix plants.
Yeah.
And it's just water.
Yeah. It's boats and water.
It's not a very complicated ride.
Not a lot going on.
Yeah, I think they're putting something on those boats to keep morons
Sneaky.
from jumping out.
Yes. Very sneaky.
Yeah.
Also, which is crazy. I don't know. We won't do all news, but the Walt Disney World Railroad has surpassed being closed for 1,000 days.
I saw that the other day. That's a lot of
1,000 days.
I didn't realize that it was that long.
I'm not good at math, but that's 3 years.
Yeah, that's 3 years. And some days.
Ish. Yeah. So, and I mean, for those of you who don't know, or like, well, why? Well, Tron. That's basically, that kind of got pushed back. I mean, it would have been done. My guess is if the world would have been not unexpectedly altered, we would be in the same place. Well, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure would be open, but right now I have a feeling the previews for cast and then eventually pass holders would be happening for Tron, but it got pushed, and some takes a couple $, I'm sure, to build those things. So
I agree.
Anyway, I mean, that's kind of the fun, like, East Coast news. I don't know if there's anything else. Like, what else is it eating at you to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, it was fun to just experience the parks again. We had, and it always happens this way. We always have people come into town on the same week. So we had two families, Matthew's family and our other families, at the exact same week. So it was just kind of fun. I love experiencing Disney with other people.
Yeah, you've said that.
It was so great. Like, I love watching fireworks with people who also love the fireworks.
Yes.
So it was just great.
Yeah.
It was just nice to go back out and experience the parks. We had not been to Magic Kingdom for 2 months, probably.
Oh, wow. That's
maybe since last time you guys were there.
Wow. Yeah, we were there, early June? Mid-June.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was nice to go back out and just experience the stuff and not have to wait forever to do it. But
well, it's no secret. I mean, Magic Kingdom is awesome. It is still my favorite of the 4 major Disney theme parks there, but there's just no easy way to get there and get out. It just isn't. And so you can't, the way it's set up, I understand why. It makes sense. But it's just, you can't get there and not park, do TTC, find your transportation, walk through the gates in less than 30 minutes. It's just not possible.
It just won't happen.
And that, like, anytime that happens in like a half an hour, I'm like, woohoo, that was quick. I mean, so you're talking just to get in and out of that park every time you go and you have to add an hour.
Yeah.
And then, where something like Hollywood Studios, you go a little bit after park opening, you just park and walk in 5 minutes and you're at the gate. I mean, so
all the other parks you can just park
it's
there
pretty easy. And of course, the later you go, the better parking you typically get, especially if the parking attendants aren't working.
Correct.
But anyway, this is a random hole that we went there.
We just went on a random.
Last thing is, if you do not have Boo Bash tickets, you're not going to get them.
No,
they are now all officially sold out.
Completely sold out,
which is insane. Which is not bidding well. Okay, so this is something we could talk about. Let's talk about this. So now, where do you think we are with these Boo Bashes versus the parties that we're used to? What I mean by that is, if Disney can require less cast members, right? Now, the Christmas party will be a little, whatever they're calling it, will be a little bit different because they are doing specialized fireworks and a specialized parade, probably the parade that they've always done. But my question is, it feels like it's going to be less to it, and they're charging more for it.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to think Disney's going to be like, yeah, let's just go back to like it used to be. So what do you think? Is this kind of the future of what it looks like? Because it is less people getting in. I mean, they're still limiting the number. And so obviously that upcharge, I guess we'll call it, is to balance that out. They're not trying to find ways to, how do we make the money that we would have made for these normal events with not being able to have full capacity at them? Well, you charge more for the events. And clearly it's working.
Yep.
I mean, we're in the middle of August, the end of August. And I mean, you're talking, wait, what's today? Yeah, so Halloween is in like 63 days.
60 days, yeah.
And so imagine all of the dates for Boo Bash between now and then, gone.
Sold out. Yeah, I think they are going to go. I think we're heading towards after hours events as opposed to parties.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because, one, they can charge more money.
Yeah.
Two, it makes it feel more exclusive for the people who can
It does. They are great.
It comes with the free ice cream and the free sodas and the popcorn. So it makes it feel more exclusive. Yes, I think they're testing out the parade and the fireworks for the Christmas celebration of the Christmas party. And then if that works out well, I think they'll add it back in to the Boo Bash. But I think it's going to continue to be Boo Bash. I think we're done with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I think we've, just like everything else that they've changed in the last year, I think we've moved away from that.
Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to Boo Bash. Matthew did have a ticket this past week, but was not able to go. We were going to have him next week on in to talk about it because we don't know anybody who's been.
Yeah.
And I know that Matthew's been to the normal party, and I wanted to say, okay, how was that different? Like, different. I mean, what was there anything majorly different other than no fireworks and no like traditional parade? So I was kind of curious. So now maybe we'll find somebody that's gone and have them, or is going to go and have them pop in. But my biggest question is, not biggest question, but my thought is, again, I have done after events parties, but not these special COVID ones. And I prefer them.
I absolutely prefer them.
The after hours events are way better. You can walk on most rides, or it's 10 minutes or less. Maybe there's more of a wait, but no, not really. Even with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, because there's so few people in these. So I like them better. And the parties, when we first started going with our daughter, like when you guys and we all went, like the parties were still, they had an after hours feel because there just wasn't that many people, right? Yeah. But the past few years, it's just been like,
it's a regular park day that you can pick up candy.
Yes.
Is essentially what that turned into.
Absurd long waits. Like there were people that would go to two of them. They would go to two of them. One of them, they would spend the entire time waiting in line to take pictures with those characters that aren't normally there. Yep. And then they would go again to experience rides because you can't do both.
No.
Because we waited, for 2 hours to see Moana?
Yes.
I mean, our daughter at the time was very into, we all dressed up as Moana characters. Yep. It was super fun. But then, it was 2 hours of not doing anything.
2 of the 4 hours of the party, we're waiting for Moana. And then obviously we were with Micaiah, so she wants candy. So then we go stand in these 25-minute candy lines. So if your goal was to ride rides during Not So Scary or Very Merry Christmas Party, you like you said, you can't do both.
Right.
So
you have to pick one or go twice.
It seems like a lot of money to pay for candy and pictures. So
I agree.
I think we're moving away from that, though. I think we're moving towards more exclusivity, less people in the park,
which I prefer.
I'd love it. I would be willing to spend up to $200 because that's what Boo Bash costs.
Right.
Anywhere from $149 to $199. I'd be willing to spend $200 one because I can come in at 7. So the way they're doing it now is they're letting people in so you can come experience Happily Ever After with everyone else in the park, and then you can go do your thing. So I'd be willing to pay for that to be able to walk on rides, do the experience. They still have cavalcades, so they still play the Boo to You music I saw. So it would be worth it to me.
I would
rather than pay $150 for the Not So Scary Halloween party.
Yeah, to wait in long lines and it's just packed. There's no way. It felt like a park night with special activities going on. And I know that was never Disney's intention, but how do they say no? It's a cash grab. Yeah, I mean you can't blame them. No. I mean, so what's interesting though, you brought up a point. So they're letting people in early for Happily Ever After. Well, we know I will be fortunate enough that we'll get to go on the 29th. I think we're going there that day. Well, either way, we can hop there. So that'll be the very last showing of Happily Ever After. So then I wonder what will happen all of October, right? Will they still let people just be a part of that? They'll go to the parties, but they can still come early. Yeah. I imagine they will. It'll just be a different show. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
But I think it's kind of cool that you can experience the fireworks.
Right.
I really loved the Halloween fireworks though.
Yeah.
I really, really liked them. So
it's just Halloween.
I'm super excited to see the Christmas ones. I don't know if it's going to be a new show. I don't know if it's going to be the same Minnie's Very Merry Christmas Fireworks Spectacular or whatever that was called. But I'm super excited to see.
It is interesting to think of what they could do. I want to believe they're going to make it extra magical because they are now going to do it where they didn't for Boo Bash. But I also can't help but feel like it might not be the full experience that we're used to.
I don't think it's going to, if you look at the amount of money that they're going to put into fireworks for
the
50th new show.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it being this grandiose, blowout fireworks extravaganza for a party. But it'll be fun to watch from the backyard.
Oh, you and your nightly occurrence of that. Okay, so I asked you this earlier because I haven't done a lot of research, and so you told me this fall, and so we talked a little bit about the Genie app and what all those changes were, and of course the uproar, if you've been following it on social media. So all they said is fall.
Yeah, which could be now.
Which also could be December 22nd, right?
Yeah. Because that's the thing.
That goes right. Yeah,
the winter equinox or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
I don't know.
I doubt it'll be that late. But when you say that, like, it's a very broad stroke. I mean, fall is long.
Yeah,
just like every season.
I think it's got to be out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
because I mean, you got to get people used to it and on it before the 50th comes. So I think we talked a little bit about it rolling out Labor Day. So that's next week.
Yeah,
next weekend. I could see it. Yeah. Sometime in the next 2 weeks. I mean, you can't just turn it on the 1st when you have all these people rolling into town and expect
it's too much
to work. So I think it's sometime in September, beginning of September.
Okay. Man, where do we go from here?
I don't know. We went all over the place.
I know. It's so like, it's just so unexpected. He's here.
Basically.
He's like right here. We are exhausted from partying all weekend, and but it was worth it to have a guy weekend, I guess, is effectively what it is.
Essentially what it was. It feels like I haven't been home in like a month.
Yes.
Just because this is the first time my wife and I have been away from each other since March of 2020.
Since COVID, yeah.
You know, I've been out of the house and I go to work, but this is an extended time. So
Yes.
I've been gone for 4 days and it feels like 12.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
I'm sure too, if your bride is like mine, she's probably like, it felt like 6 hours.
She's like, can your flight get canceled tomorrow? Come home next week.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, let's just go off the cuff here and play something unexpected. Let's do a mini Reimagineer It, which, we do have an announcement with that. We do have an announcement for Reimagineer It. We were going to fold that show into one of like our segments within this show.
Correct.
But I think that I've decided to pull the plug on that idea and maybe just do Reimagineer It monthly.
Yeah.
So that's what I think we're going to do. But let's play a little fun Reimagineer It. Do you have any idea what I'm going to say?
I have no idea.
I knew what I was going to say 45 seconds ago. We've talked about this.
Okay.
So you'll at least have an idea.
Okay.
But I haven't planned. It's not like I have a leg up on Brandon. I have not planned at all what I would add to this place or put in this place. So we're going to change up the format a little bit because if you've listened to our show, if you haven't listened or watched Reimagineer It, highly recommend it. It is a really good show. Most of the emails and comments that we ever get are typically from that show.
Yeah.
So it's pretty enjoyable. And the premise of it, if you don't know, is we take a ride, attraction, experience, or hotel and blow it up and reimagine something new. And
Correct.
So we have, 12, 15, 20 episodes. I don't know how many there were. So we would do them. Were they weekly or twice? They were twice a month. Maybe they were weekly. Holy crap. Yeah, we were running out of ideas.
Yeah.
So, but I decided to, like, what if we drilled down and got even more specific or more intimate with the places that we chose? So we're going to start with this one on the fly. No planning. Okay. Inside of Tomorrowland, there is a small little foodie place.
Yep.
That is affectionately known as the lunching pad. Okay. Now, why I wanted to talk about this is I feel like, first of all, it's no secret if you know me, that is the spot for my favorite
snack,
Disney snack, which is the cream cheese pretzel. It's, you might be able to get it somewhere else, but I don't know. I've only seen it there. That's where we always go. They have them at Wawa. If you live near a Wawa, it's not the same. But they do have them. So it's my little fix. Every now and then I'll get one. But there is a giant missed opportunity here of what that menu is. So we're in Tomorrowland, which is all about yesteryear or future, whatever. Matthew says yesteryear. I say, well, if it says tomorrow in the word, it's got to be future forward.
Can't be yester.
So Yesterland. I think that menu just doesn't make sense. So let's bring up on the fly and find out what's actually in
At
there.
the lunching pad?
Yeah, I know there's like Coke Slurpees.
Hot dogs.
Yep. So you can get more than just snacks. You can get food-ish. Meal pricing, $14.99 and under. Very affordable for Disney. Oh, man. I'm going to go back right here because I saw this one, menus.
Menus?
It's a
Are you
good
looking
place
for
to
the
start.
menu under the menu?
All right, here we go. So you can get an alien sipper. Okay, that makes sense, but that's really just like it's a popcorn holder, but for drinks.
Correct.
Basically. And so since Buzz is there, that is themed appropriately. Oh, you can get a pulled pork sandwich? Did not know that. All beef hot dog, cream cheese, warm stuffed pretzel, tell your friends, and a Mickey pretzel. And then they have frozen Coca-Cola slushies, a frozen blue raspberry slushie, and then they have some hot beverages so you can get Joffrey's coffee. I guess you can get decaf or regular and hot cocoa. That sounds amazing right now in Florida.
Cocoa.
Hot
Oh,
cocoa.
yes.
Okay, snack. Let's see what else is listed under here. Snack. So that is the extent of the menu. So outside of the souvenir cup, there's nothing about that area that's smack dab in what I would consider the hub of Tomorrowland that says anything about tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay, so why don't you pick a food item and a drink, and I'll pick a food item and a drink, and let's theme it to where it would make sense to actually be in Tomorrowland.
I got you. So this is the main thing that I think it has a problem. So it's underneath Astro Orbiter, which is all about space.
Yep.
Other than the name of the restaurant, there's nothing else space-like about it.
No.
So I would retheme my menu and my beverages with something to have to do with space. So it would be like a futuristic food. I always used to love this when we used to go to the Smithsonian. They had this freeze-dried ice cream that the astronauts used to eat. And I would love for them to come up with some sort of like futuristic treat like that, that they can, it doesn't have to be freeze-dried ice cream, but some kind of crazy dessert that's futuristic.
Yeah.
So mine would be an ice cream treat that's space themed, like maybe like a planet popsicle or a
that's good.
Or like a
Planet Pops.
like
that's a good one.
A planet sundae. You know what I mean? Like the cookies look like Earth or look like Mars that go on top of the sundae.
Gosh.
Something like that.
You could sprinkle like, I was going to say paprika, but that's disgusting. But it would be red like Mars.
paprika on ice cream. That's weird.
Well, but you could sprinkle it on top like they do on coffee or something, and it would be like red dirt.
But if you look at that menu, there's no dessert on there. Except for the cream cheese pretzel.
And the slushies.
There's no ice cream there. And it's in Florida. People want ice cream. So that would be what I would do. And then my beverage would come in a sweet, kind of alien looking mug, but you would drop in those little cubes of dry ice that cause it to bubble and come out and fog over. So it would be like some kind of deep space mystery drink or something like that.
You broke me.
That's what I would do. It would definitely have smoke.
Okay. Dang it.
So a sweet sundae and a smoking drink.
Oh,
go.
All right. Dang it. Well, I'll flip with you. So it didn't stay open very long here locally, but it was really cool. So basically, they called it, the place was called Dragon's Breath. Okay. Stay with me. Stay with me. It was almost like giant Fruity Pebbles, or which ones are round? No, Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch berries. It was almost like giant. When I say giant, they're like as big as like Jawbreakers or Gobstoppers. Okay. And they were they were frozen in like nitrogen-y stuff. Okay. So when you took a bite, all of that would like come out in your mouth and you could blow like dragon's breath. Okay. So I would do that because that feels very spacey, kind of like your drink. I don't have a cool name for it.
There's space dragons?
Space breath. I'm sorry. Reimagineer has been canceled. I don't have a name. I just have I didn't say I had to have a name. There we go.
So you would take, am I with Matthew? You would take someone else's idea,
yes,
and rename it something else and put it in there?
Space Breath.
Space Breath. Thanks, Matthew Bradshaw.
And then for a beverage, dang, yours was really good. I would just take probably the offerings that they already had. I know this is a lame cop out, but I would do like you would. I would use the alien dudes from Buzz Lightyear, but I would have them in those frozen ice cube things that like will flash and make colors that go inside the beverage.
So your alien cup would be clear.
Yes.
And then you would have the flashy ice cube,
yes,
but in the shape of the aliens from Toy Story.
I would not have a clever drink. It could just be in your Coca-Cola.
Be in your Coca-Cola. Do those flashy things work in dark soda?
Probably not. Last time I had one was in a delicious frozen beverage at Pizza Rizzo. That's a place, right?
Yeah, that is a place.
I had a delectable beverage and the ice. It was like a square ice cube that you can hit has little buttons on the bottom of it. And you can do slow, change all the colors, one color, flashy colors. I was like, I loved it. I brought it home to my son. He thought it was the best thing since ice cubes.
Nice. But yeah, I think the problem with the launching pad or or whatever it's called.
I think it's
I don't
the
even
lunching.
know what it's called.
There
That's how infrequently I go there.
The lunching pad.
The lunching pad.
Tell your friends.
It's limited by what's on top of it.
Yeah.
Right? So Astro Orbiter is up there. If I had my choice, I would rip Astro Orbiter right out of the park.
Yes.
It's always a ridiculously long line going up and down that
There's
elevator.
no easy way to get to the
ride. It's
ride.
like a death trap to get in the elevator.
Yes.
And then once you get in the Astro Orbiter, if you're Dave and Brandon size, they're gonna have to grease you up to get you out of that thing.
The word Astro Orbiter and comfort do not go hand in hand.
They do not go. Last time I got on there, I got vertigo. It was awful.
Yes.
So if we were able to tear the Astro Orbiter down, then you could put something super cool there that's like a whole themed tomorrow restaurant.
And I would make it steps and only use the elevator for those who
needed
the
elevator
for disability.
Yeah. People can walk up steps to go to water slides. Why couldn't they walk up steps to go?
I agree. Maybe it could be the watchtower all along the watchtower. You could see. Well, they wouldn't. Well, yeah, it would work. I would say Disney wouldn't want to do that because you would see outside of Tomorrowland. Well, you see outside of Tomorrowland and Astro Orbiter.
Correct.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
So it could be kind of a fun maybe they could put those things like they go to the beaches and you put the thing on there. You can look all around and see people in Adventureland living their dream while you're on top of the lunching pad.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I would do. I would also change things. Like they've gotten so great with this technology, like we're going to see in Space 220 and then we're going to see in the new cruise ship. I would love to see like their menus or maybe that whole back wall of that be nothing like. I mean, it doesn't make sense because right around the corner you could be like looking at space. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would just theme it more Tomorrowland. It's weird.
It's just like they got lazy.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, what can we
come on down to our carny snacks?
I mean, it's got ices, hot dogs, pork sandwich, and a pretzel. That's the weirdest menu I've ever heard. So just come up with some continuity, Disney. We just need continuity. And it apparently is bubbling drinks and aliens.
Yes, the new lunching pad not coming to a park near you.
Coming never.
I think we did okay on the fly.
I mean, that was pretty good for the fly. I mean,
yours was really good.
I mean, we usually plan those a little bit just so we can kind of think of something. Because if you've listened to our show before, I usually have a name for the thing, a themed restaurant, what the gift shop's going to look like, and Dave is usually like, "Well, what I do is I just leave everything the same and I change the name."
Brandon's got the paint colors picked out, what the flooring is going to be, and I'm all like, well, I would take that existing space and change it a little bit and then put a whole new name.
Yeah. We've determined Dave's very economical.
I'm trying to be fiscally responsible.
I dream.
Yeah.
I'm a dreamer. Walt Disney would like me. I dream.
Yes. I feel like some of the top brass at Disney now could use some more well, there's plenty of dreamers. We need more people saying yes to those dreamers' ideas.
Correct.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
I was PC in my statement.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. So it's funny that you played a game because I also wanted to play a game in this time when we were together.
Please tell me it's going to be much easier than
it's going to
Space
be,
Breath.
Well, it may not be much easier.
Okay.
But we also, on our show, guys, we play a game called Pick One.
Okay.
So that is where we pick one of three. We name three attractions, shows, whatever. Name three of them.
Right.
You have to pick one, and the other two are gone forever. Whew. So this time, this is what we're looking at.
Okay.
It's 3 roller coasters in 3 different parks at Disney.
Oh.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
Everest. Big Thunder Mountain.
Ooh.
So if you could get rid of 2 of those and keep one, which one would it be? And why?
Rock and Roller Coaster, Everest,
Or Big Thunder Mountain?
Big Thunder Mountain. I'm trying to drag this out and make it really dramatic, but as soon as you said the third one, I already knew what I was going to do.
I think I know what you're
And it's going to be pretty unpopular. Both of my children absolutely adore Big Thunder Mountain. It is their favorite ride. I cannot tell. I have so many videos of my daughter at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old that gets on that ride and it is immediately hands up, holds on to nothing. So if you've ever ridden that, I'm that parent that's like, dear God, please don't fall out. And she's ramming. I mean, she's all over the place. She's never held on. And then we took, Isaiah has been a couple times, hands down his most favorite ride. So it would have to be that one because if I am Rock and Roller Coaster other than the launch is just to me.
Yep.
And Everest I really, really like. And I know that's hard because that's really I don't know. I mean, it's the most
thrill riding.
Yeah. Hair raising attraction. Thrill riding is good.
Hair raising attraction.
Yeah, there it is. You can tell my age.
You don't have hair.
Which is hard to say because it's so good. Which is also, by the way, a hidden Mickey. Look on a map.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be my choice. Big Thunder. It's got emotional ties.
Gotcha. Big Thunder Mountain. So this one's super hard for me.
Really?
I thought about this because. So I'm going to get rid of Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
We won't pretend that's
right.
that's the one that's keeping me down.
So the one that you're going to keep. Are you ready to say it?
I am.
Count down to 3, and we'll both say. I'll say what I'm thinking, and you say what you're going to say. Okay. Let's see if I'm right. Ready?
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Everest. Yes.
So, but here's why it was a hard decision for me. Because if I had to look at it strictly as a ride, which Everest is my favorite ride, it's really the only roller coaster.
It's so good.
I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster is a roller coaster, but it's really the only good roller coaster at Walt Disney World. Now, the reason that I struggled with keeping Big Thunder Mountain is because my wife is not a ride person.
Correct.
And very rarely will she get on a ride, but just like your children, Krista loves Big Thunder Mountain. So it's the only roller coaster that she will ride with me.
So that's important.
Most rides I have to do by myself.
Yes.
So that's why it's a struggle.
It's fair.
Because if I kept that, then I could ride it with my wife. But I'm getting rid of it. We're gonna do Everest.
But then on the other hand, I will say this. I don't know if this was part of your thought process. On the other hand, with Everest, that is because you're so used to riding those style of rides by yourself. Correct. That's one of the very few with a single rider line.
That is one of the very few with a single rider line.
That's why I was like, that's got to be of value to him. It basically, I mean, that's one of like 3 must-do attractions at Animal Kingdom. Everything else you can kind of be like, whatever. And I love going to Animal Kingdom. I love that park, but it's kind of like it's not really a ride park. It's just not. So Everest really kind of takes it over the top. And I don't think I've ever been with you and not ridden that. So I knew that was where I've been to Magic Kingdom plenty of times and we've not ridden Big Thunder.
Yeah.
But yeah, but to me, I was thinking, well, he rides a lot alone. So single rider line would be of great value.
Yeah. And I mean, Everest is obviously a better roller coaster ride than Big Thunder Mountain, but I mean, Big Thunder Mountain's like a classic.
Yeah, it's in
Disney
almost every
attraction,
Disney commercial.
Yeah. So I mean, it has that sentimental tie, and my wife rides it with me, so I like it. But if I had to choose one and get rid of it,
Yeah. It's a good thing that our pick ones are not real.
that's true. They're all going to be there in October.
Love it. Okay, this was great, man. I cannot tell you how great it was, not only to just do a show together, but like do it in the studio. Like, to me, you came home because I met you here. Our relationship started here. This is sounding really weird all of a sudden. Our relationship is magical. Oh, crap. There it is. Because I'm sure, I don't know, we haven't planned to do a show. Well, we're all down there for the 50th. I don't care if we do or not, but I have a feeling that eventually one of those trips, we just will. Yeah. Like, I think it would be fun to go sit in a park and do a show.
Yeah. We can just go sit on that stage that they put up for the 50th.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Which wasn't there like yesterday.
It wasn't there when I was there
so sneaky.
4 days ago.
They're so sneaky. Anyway, it was so great to have you home for a few days. I'll see you in how many days? Like 50, 55?
Not even that many.
No?
You're coming the 29th, right?
Oh, yeah. My bad.
There's only like 2 more days in August, and
That's
then
right.
29, so 31 days.
My gosh, I'll be here so soon.
So quick.
Okay. That's our show.
That's our show. Thanks for listening.
It's good to hang out this weekend.
It was awesome to hang out. It was awesome to hang out. And even though we do a Disney podcast, it was awesome to hang out and not have to
nothing
talk
to do
about
with
Disney.
Brandon, he was legit on vacation, and we didn't even talk about Disney until today.
Correct.
We just did life. I like it.
It was awesome.
But he'll go back home, and we'll go back to talking about Disney every time we connect. If you didn't live there, what would we talk about?
Nothing.
We would find something. Okay, my friends.
All right, my friends.
Thank you for waiting. Hopefully this episode was worth them waiting for it.
Hopefully
I think it
so.
was. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun for me.
Yeah, I think next week we'll have Matthew on to do his little trip recap and talk about the 4-minute waits for everything.
Yeah.
Be a good time.
Cool stuff.
Which you will not wanted if you go for the 50th. Just wanted to set that up.
Just set expectation.
Yes.
Don't go in October and then send us emails and texts and say, I waited 3 hours for Flight of Passage. Go before October.
Right. When I go for the 50th, when we ride a ride, okay. That's not why I'm going.
Correct.
I'm probably going to buy every piece of 50th merch and hang out by the pool with the palms. That's pretty much
sounds like a plan with me.
They have one of those margarita blenders from Margaritaville. I have one too. He's going to bring it to them. Yes, a little giddy about that. We had some of those shenanigans this week.
We practiced. We perfected the recipe.
'Twas good.
Was good.
Okay.
All right.
Bicycle.
Bicycle.